Hare Krishna. Question: did Karna alone conquer the world for which Arjuna could not do, and thus Karna is superior to Arjuna? Answer: let's understand what incidents are being referred to. When the Pandavas had been exiled, at that time, Duryodhana wanted to perform a sacrifice. And he wanted to perform a sacrifice similar to what Yudhishthira had performed, the Rajasuya. But the Brahmana said no, while the performer of the previous Rajasuya is still alive, you cannot perform a Rajasuya. So they told him of another sacrifice called the Vaishnava sacrifice. And for that also, Duryodhana had to conquer the world. And Karna was given an army by Duryodhana, and Karna went around and he tried his best to conquer the whole world, and he did do that. So Karna did that alone for Duryodhana. And prior to that, when Yudhishthir was to perform the Rajasuya Yajna, so at that time Yudhishthir was assisted by his four brothers, and the four brothers went in four different directions in order to conquer conquer the four directions. And at that time, does this prove the superiority of Karna over Arjuna? No, not actually, because when the four brothers had gone in four directions, Bhima went in the east, and there was the kingdom of Anga. And who was the king over there? Karna. And Bhima and Karna had a big fight. And after that fight, it was Bhima who defeated Karna. Now, Bhima is actually not as great an archer as Arjuna, and yet Bhima defeated Karna. So then, how can Karna be considered superior to Arjuna, who was a better archer than even Bhima? So now, yes, it is true that Arjuna was assisted by his brothers when they conquered the world for Yudhishthira, but this was not because Arjuna alone was incapable of conquering the world. Arjuna was entirely capable of this, and he wanted his brothers also wanted to assist Yudhishthira in his glorious sacrifice, and Arjuna did not want to deprive them of that opportunity. So it was not that Arjuna needed them, but they wanted to have that service, and Arjuna didn't want to deprive them. And Arjuna had demonstrated his prowess in not just defeating the world's warriors, but even in defeating warriors who were far more powerful than the world's warriors. Later on, when the Pandavas were in exile, at that time Arjuna went to the heavens, and while he was in the heavens, Indra asked him to fight against a horde of demons who had been troubling the Devatas. And Arjuna went to the kingdom of the Nivatkavachas, who had almost like an impenetrable armor and a formidable army, and who had been undefeated for a long time. And Arjuna single-handedly defeated all the Nivatkavachas. And the Nivatkavachas had actually been undefeatable even by the Devatas. And such an army Arjuna had defeated. And not only that, Arjuna had earlier, during the burning of the Khandava forest, all the gods had come together to try to stop Arjuna, because the gods had been ordered to do so by Indra. And what happened was, Arjuna single-handedly held back all the gods. So Arjuna was entirely capable of defeating an army of gods, an army of demons who had checked the army of the gods. And both these are far more powerful than the army of earthly rulers. Therefore, Arjuna was much superior to Karna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.